Welcome to the Essential 99 Punctuation Rules for Court Reporters, video number 44, the hyphen part 4. I'm Ken Wick. Let's get started. So this video covers the hyphen and ebook rules 92 and 93, which are common compound adjective forms and long compound adjectives. So common compound adjectives. Compound adjective formed by, so these are some situations, some common situations. The first one, I should almost put a 1 here first. Compound adjective formed by an adverb ending in ly plus an adjective or adjective or verb is not hyphenated before a noun. So anything, basically any word, you say almost, let's just say there's two words, any two words where it's like slowly walked blank or something. So if you have anything with ly, it's never hyphenated. And then the following types of compound adjectives are often, but not always, hyphenated before the noun. So that's a noun plus an adjective, a noun plus a participle, that's basically a verb, an adjective plus a participle, an adjective plus a noun, ending with an ed ending, and a number plus a noun. Notice I said this in the last video, but if you have an adjective, and notice there's no adjective plus adjective, because if you have an adjective, then you need to go back to the rule and determine, forget what rule number it is, but you need to go back and see if it's a coordinating adjectives or cumulative adjectives. So that's one of the key things. If you have two adjectives, then they're coordinating or cumulative. So notice that here we're looking at different parts of speech and if they're forming a compound adjective. So these types are commonly hyphenated, and we're going to go through some examples. So just so you know, the LMEG, GRM, and CMOS all agree about this rule with adverbs ending in ly. The GRM states for the above situations 1 to 4 here that they almost always need to be hyphenated. So maybe just to say that the LMEG and the GRM have a quite extensive listing of different situations of compound adjective forms and compound nouns and stuff, where the BGGP is very short on this whole compound word subject. So so there's technically, I have 4 or 5. There's really like 6 situations I'm going to go through. So the first one is the adverb ending in ly plus an adjective or verb. This is a poorly written sentence. So once again, you'll see I have what I call the noun, the signal word of an article. So I know everything in between here has to be like 2 adjectives or a compound noun. So poorly written, here I have a adverb ending in ly with an adjective or verb. I know right away this is always a case where it says it's never hyphenated, so I don't have to look at it. Once I see this ly ending, never hyphenated. She joined the newly formed business. Once again, the signal word, or I have the adjective in ly and the adjective or verb. Never hyphenated, this situation. Noun plus adjective. Once again, in green I'm showing the signal words or the nouns. So here we have a noun plus an adjective. So fat-free. These are often, but not always, hyphenated. I'd say the default answer would be hyphenated, or the default answer is hyphenated. Please pick up some fat-free milk on the way home. Whoops, I forgot to put the number green, because this is the signal word. Call the toll-free number. So I know toll-free is I know they're not 2 adjectives. Noun plus adjective. In this case is generally hyphenated. Noun plus participle are basically verb. Once again, I show the signal word and the noun. She prepared a delicious home-cooked meal. So here we have a little bit more difficult situation, because this delicious home-cooked meal, are these all, is this one big compound? The answer is no. It's going to be home-cooked. You know, we could go through the exercise and is it a home meal? Is it a cooked meal? No, it's a home-cooked meal. So I know this home-cooked is forming a unit. And then these two are actually forming a cumulative. So these two adjectives are forming then a cumulative adjectives before the word meal. Good exercise to look at this. Maybe study this in depth, but that's what's happening here. I said the signal word. This is one adjective. This is another adjective. This one's compound, but the relationship of these two adjectives to meal is cumulative. Because they'll go back to it. You can't stick, go back to that rule and look at how you determine cumulative and coordinating. The patrons fled, the smoke filled the room. So noun plus participle. Adjective plus participle. Jim is a high-ranking city official. So here's another situation where we have cumulative adjectives. This adjective right here is a compound adjective, modifying official. This is also a adjective modifying official, but the relationship between these two adjectives is actually cumulative. I mean, just to break this apart, like I said, going back to the last one, is Jim a high official? Is there a ranking official? No, he's a high-ranking official. Therefore, I know there's a hyphen between there. And once I know this is a compound, then what is the relationship? Is it coordinating or cumulative? Jim is also a soft-spoken leader. So adjective plus participle. Most often hyphenated. And then adjective plus noun ending in ed. I have a deep-rooted fear. So deep-rooted, once again, the signal word. You can say, is it a deep fear? You could maybe say that. Is it a rooted fear? It doesn't really make sense, but deep-rooted forms a single unit of thought. So we know it's a compound adjective, and we know from this rule that they are most likely hyphenated. And all these examples, if you don't know, have been rather, I've looked these up in Merriam-Webster's dictionary to see if they're there, to see if they are hyphenated or not. Who likes a one-sided conversation? So adjective plus noun ending in ed. It's not a one conversation, it's not a sided conversation, it's a one-sided conversation. Noun plus number, or number plus noun, sorry. I once turned the wrong way onto a one-way street. It's not a one street or a way street, it's a one-way street. We have the signal word, so I know it's a compound adjective. The default would be hyphen, but we also know by this rule that it's also, most of these are hyphenated. I really need a 2-week vacation. The signal word, it's not a 2 vacation, is that a week vacation? It's a 2-week vacation, so I know it's a compound adjective. The default is hyphenated, and I know by this rule, the default is most likely hyphenated. So that's it for that. Just going back here, you saw me going through how determining a compound adjective. These are good situations to know. And if I go all the way back up here, these situations of is it this plus that, but I would stress maybe not trying to memorize noun plus participle. I usually always memorize how breaking can I determine if it's a compound adjective. That's I actually look at each word. That's how I do it most of the time, but I know these situations are more likely hyphenated. So when I said, you check similar entries and stuff, so given these 6 situations, I know the first one going all the way back, the ly is not hyphenated, and then these other 5 are. So getting on to long compound adjectives. If a hyphenated compound adjective is 6 or more words, or could be misread, then enclose it in quotation marks. So there's a point in which you could start stringing all these words together in a compound adjective, but once you get to 6 or more, then you use quotes around it. This is the LMEG rule, 6 or more. What the BGGP says is it uses quotation marks when a compound adjective is, quote, something someone might say in a conversation. The longer the saying, the compound adjective, the less likely hyphens are going to be clear. So it doesn't really go this 6 word to it. It's more about it's something someone would say in a conversation, and the longer it is, the more likely it's going to need quotes. And the GRM says the use quotation marks when the hyphenated form is unattractive or even disconcerting. Well, that's very subjective. It states that both the hyphenated and quotation mark forms are correct. So you can see this really is this 6 or more is really a rule developed in the LMEG. It's not contained anywhere else, but we're going to use it because I think it goes along with the longer, here BGGP says once longer it is, the more necessary. Hyphens aren't going to be clear, and this one talks about being unattractive. And this situation is not covered in CMOS. So some examples. I'm going out of my freaking mind. Smile scared me. So if you sort of see that this was all hyphens, it would look a little strange. And you can see why the BGGP, now maybe this is just because it's this way. This is sort of something someone would say in a conversation. Maybe that's where the BGGP was going. But since we're following an LMEG, and this is 6 or more, we're going to use quotes to say this is a compound adjective, modifying smile. She gave me a you can't even make me do it expression. So this is 6 or more. Once again, we have a signal word. So everything between the signal word and the noun has to be an adjective. So here, you could say, oh, we can make these all hyphens, and that would be technically correct under the GRM. But this makes it under, the BGGP. This is something that would be sort of conversational, and according to LMEG, it's 6 or more. Therefore, we put quotes. And one more. Our conversation was only how was your day type of things. So here I have a noun. I have this in front of it is going to be a sort of some form of adjective. Once again, this does sort of fit the BGGP definition of sort of a conversational type things. Go in quotes. And this one, I think you're saying, well, this is only 4. So I think this a likely to be misread or could be misread. So there's an example of, I think, of something that can be misread, especially because it's a question. Because how would you write this without a question? And then this question becomes, why is this question mark in the middle of this sentence? So therefore, since it's going to be misread, we'll just enclose it, how was your day? This way it sort of makes it, this is a compound adjective. That's it for this video. Please subscribe. If you like the video, please hit like. And please buy the ebook. Thank you.